And we are live. Welcome everybody to another episode of You Know What? Let Me Just Say podcast. I am your host, Ray. With me as always, we have Father.
Salutations.
And we have Dion.
Good evening.
Gentlemen, how are we doing tonight?
I can't wait to get started. That's all I'm saying.
That's great. Yo, but before we get started, I do got a question for both of y'all. And if Crystal comes through, I want to ask this question too. My sister's been going on dates, and she's been getting this from a lot of dudes where they don't want a relationship, but they want relationship things from a girl without. I've been hearing that most lately, and I don't know, maybe me growing up, I didn't really hear that a lot. It's like if you go with the person, you go with the person. Ain't no bullshitting around. But why do you think people been doing that lately?
Do I need to pull out the word again? Do I need to pull out the phrase?
Hey, go ahead. Pull it out.
Game goofy. Fucking game goofy.
Go ahead.
Nah, because my thing is like, if you in a situation where you're going out on dates, you're not just doing it just to say, hey, I really like you. I'd like to keep this going, but I just don't want to be your boyfriend. What the fuck is you dating for? Like, why is people trying to change the rules of what it has already been established? Like, if you want a sneaky link, just say that.
I agree with you. I don't know why niggas just be your friend. It's not like people won't tell you no. Sometimes some girls will just tell you yes. Yeah. I feel like you don't have to do all that. You can just tell a woman, look, I'm not trying to date nobody. I'm just trying to smash. Some girls will just let you do it. It's just like I don't want no what they say, connections or some shit. But it seems like I don't want to blame social media, but I do have to blame it because you're seeing your options and you're trying to test your options out. But I also feel like people would have done that back then too. I don't know. I don't want to blame social media for that, but I feel like it does have a part in
it. Me personally, like you know me, like if I'm not gonna beat around the bush. If I want some pussy, I'm gonna tell you I want some pussy. But at the same time, like if I'm out there looking for someone to like love on, then that's what I'm gonna do too. And it's always been different for me because I'm a romantic. I love the lovey-dovey shit. Like that's just my shit. But
yeah.
Like there's other people, like if you're not a romantic, that's cool, but be upfront. You know what I'm saying? If you know that you want a certain thing, then advertise said thing. You ain't gotta beat around the bush. You ain't gotta lie about it. It's 2021. If you want a sneaky link, then just say so, my nigga.
Exactly. Whereas stop being, as Father would say, stop being game goofy.
Stop being fucking game goofy.
All right, the first thing we're going to be talking about is Money in the Bank. Money in the Bank just happened, and to give you the buff notes, Bobby Lashley retained by beating the shit out of Kofi Kingston. Roman Reigns and Edge, I think, had a very good match, but not as great as Charlotte and Rhea Ripley. Charlotte, for the 11th time, 13 if you count the 2 NXT titles, which they're not, but for the 11th time, she is your women's champion. Big E got the Money in the Bank briefcase for the men, and Nikki, almost a superhero, is the women's. And as of right now, she is the WWE Women's Champion. Gentlemen, how do you feel about the Money in the Bank? What grade would you give it?
A-.
I was gonna say a B.
I'm gonna give it an A-.
Why would you? Could you explain why would you give it a A-? It
was a good event. The matches were good. All right. So I like the storytelling as well. Like the ending, like when Seth Rollins ruined Edge's chances of becoming champion, and then John Cena came out right after to face Roman Reigns. That's storytelling. I'm invested. You know what I'm saying? What's it called? Again, Charlotte and Rhea Ripley had the fucking match of the night. That's probably a match of the year contender, if we're being honest. Both of them put on really good matches. I like their chemistry together. I think those two, they're like Rey Mysterio and Eddie Guerrero. Remember when them motherfuckers used to have 5-star matches in the mid 2000s?
Hell,
Like
yeah,
Man.
like they've always put on treats whenever they faced off. The Money in the Bank ladder matches, the men's was better than the women's. The women's, I feel like, had the worst Money in the Bank. But at the same time, I was like pleased with the winners. I feel like the people who won like deserved it. And yeah, like I give it an A-. It was just a good ass pay-per-view. Like I enjoyed it.
Dion, why would you give it a B?
I felt like certain matches could have been a lot better than what they were, considering who all was involved, and certain things just kind of lose points for predictability. Like, we knew Bobby Lashley was going to damn near kill Kofi Kingston. We knew Roman Reigns was going to retain. Basically, the only matches. The only matches
I ain't know Bobby
that
Lashley was going to kill him. Honestly, I thought it was going to be a back and forth. He fucking murdered that boy.
The moment Bobby Lashley went off the way he did on the Raw prior to, Kofi gonna get hurt. In my mind, it clicked right then and there. Kofi gonna get hurt. But the only matches that I can honestly say I did not know who was going to fucking win were the two Money in the Bank matches. While my initial prediction, I had no clue what to say about the men's match, who was going to win that. Now, who I originally thought was going to win the women's match was actually Zelina Vega. But even though I hate the gimmick they're running with her currently, with this almost a superhero thing, I'm kind of glad Nikki Cross won and was able to cash in on Charlotte and freaking become champion. It seems like she's always the unfortunate one to fall victim to that Money in the Bank contract, but that's a conversation for another day. I guess now the only question is how long are they going to let Nikki hold that belt, which I'm guessing is not long.
Storytelling.
I'm gonna also give it an A-. I think it was funny. I called Nikki Cross or Nikki Almost a Superhero winning that, and I was right. So I was like extremely happy. But I was not expecting Big E to win it. I thought they was gonna give it to Shinsuke because they gave him I think they was giving him a big push, in my opinion. They gave him his whole theme song. Rick Boogs is making him look good. Everybody, the crowd being back, I figured they was going to give it to him. He was looking real good. But I do think if they do like King of the Ring, and I know he's already King Nakamura, I feel like they might give that to Shinsuke. I'm not sure. I'm not putting a guess on it, but then. As far as Rhea Ripley and Charlotte go, I agree with Father. That might be Match of the Year contender. I really wish that Charlotte didn't win that. I felt like if you're going to give the belt, if you're going to give that belt to Rhea Ripley, you could at least do something with her. But I guess I should have saw it coming because one with Charlotte, she's always capable of winning that, no matter if the story is with or against her. But it made Rhea Ripley look like a title placeholder, and I didn't like. And plus, I was looking at Raw. They really didn't know what to do with her, which is which has been like an ongoing thing because obviously Monday Night Raw they brought Karrion Kross up there, and he was looking like a monster in fucking NXT, and he come losing to Jeff Hardy. Shout out to Jeff Hardy, though. I'm glad they gave him his the writings on the wall theme song.
Now, mind you, that wasn't a clean L that Karrion Kross took against Jeff Hardy.
I do not kill. He lost by a roll up. First off, you lose to a roll up, and you lose, and it's still an L. While you're going on NXT. And you look like you're about to have a 5-star match with Samoa Joe, which, by the way, they cleared him so he can wrestle now. So good on that.
Yes.
Right. I have
I don't
to
know, like-
disagree with the fact that Charlotte won. I think that's what they needed because look who she lost it to.
Rhea Ripley. Oh,
No,
Nikki
look
almost a superhero. Sorry.
Thank you. So now that's even more story.
She, you know what? Yeah, Dion does have a point. She always losing it to somebody cashing it in. She lost it to Becky, and she lost it to.
It's happened
And I
to
think
her
she
3
lost it to
times.
Carmella.
The first one was Carmella, then
Carmella.
Bayley, and now Nikki Cross.
Then
Every
it was
year,
Bayley.
it's been every year since Carmella first won. Carmella cashed in on her and took it. She eventually got it back. Bayley did the same thing, and then it's rinse and have to repeat with Nikki Ash.
You're right. Becky beat her at WrestleMania, and then she kept it going. You're right. I mean, congratulations to Nikki. Obviously, I think everybody was mad that the Usos won the titles because they thought, I mean, because Jimmy. I think Jimmy got a DUI, and they thought they were going to punish him.
Right.
But it was like I didn't see them punishing them, but I am glad the Usos did win the title.
Because see, the thing
it
is,
makes
this
them
was
look
the
good.
plan. The plan all along was for the Usos to become tag team champions alongside Roman Reigns as Universal Champion. This was the plan all along. They can't do nothing to the Usos and butcher that.
That's a
They
terrible
can, and they
reason,
have.
but yeah, that's a terrible
They
reason.
can.
I guess they could, but they figured it'd be better. It'd make better TV to have them as tag team champions.
I don't know.
I mean, let's be real.
I don't think it matters because I don't think it matters because Reigns is still the champion. He's still the tribal chief. By the way, what do y'all think of Goldberg versus Bobby Lashley?
Ew.
I'm so tired of people complaining about Goldberg. Like he's there and accept it. Like damn, what y'all so mad for?
I'm ecstatic for that match because I think Bobby Lashley needs a name. Even though Drew is great, Kofi Kingston is great, but I feel like you bringing a legend, it's going to help him out, and it's going to make his reign look even stronger. I know Goldberg is not known for having great wrestling. I know he's known for not having great wrestling matches, but I feel like saying he beat Goldberg, the name, I feel like that will work for him.
I slightly have to disagree.
I don't feel like beating Goldberg is an accomplishment anymore.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with Dion, actually. I'm going to agree with Dion on that.
I don't feel like beating him is an accomplishment anymore.
Ever since that match with The Undertaker, he has sullied his name. To the point where now he gets a lot of backlash whenever he gets announced. You remember the last time he was fighting someone for the championship and they damn near booed him out. Yeah, and they damn near booed him out the arena. You don't remember that shit?
No, I'll take you a step further. The reaction when he beat the Fiend. Do you remember that?
He shouldn't have beat the Fiend.
Yeah, he shouldn't have beat the Fiend, but
he shouldn't have. But again, just you can damn near smell the negative reaction from that. Just it was that bad.
I mean, the Fiend got the title back, but it was just like, he shouldn't have beat the Fiend, and like, especially since his title reign was going good, it was just like. But I feel like with this one, it's just like, well, I don't see him beating Bobby Lashley. Knock on wood, but
and see that's the other thing too. As you can get at me about how I harp on predictability, but it's just one of those. We know Lashley's going to win that match. We know Lashley's going to retain that.
I know, but for story wise, it looks good on it though. It really does. To me, it looks good for him.
It doesn't look as good when you already know what the fuck they're gonna do.
Nah, it can still look
I
good.
knew
It
the
doesn't
Roman Reigns
matter.
was going to beat I knew Roman was going to beat the Undertaker. It still looked good.
Yeah. So yeah, that's something totally different.
Eh,
But I
yeah.
will say I am liking the direction that I'm seeing these storylines go. It's just a matter of how consistent they can keep it in terms of like the hype. Because the hype shit is happening right now.
Yeah. I mean,
I still want. Go ahead, Dion.
I was gonna say, truth be told, when it comes to Bobby Lashley, like who else other than Drew McIntyre, who else could potentially like take his place with that world heavyweight title?
You know, it's sad. I was going to say Keith Lee, but he beat him.
It can
Correct.
still,
I have my own. I have another gripe about that, but I'm not right this second.
actually Riddle.
But
Riddle.
you know what?
Riddle.
Yeah. Yeah, but then I don't see them. I don't see them making him world heavyweight champion.
He's gonna be champion one day.
He's going to be champion one day. He's going to be champion one day. I can see it. But you know who I think should be Bobby Lashley? And y'all going to disagree with me so much, but I would laugh my ass off if it did happen.
If you say Miz.
All right, you good. We good.
Xavier, no.
I was
Hold on.
my ass off.
Hold on.
Honestly, I do think Xavier Woods needs a single title run. I do. Yeah. I do feel it.
While because here's what I was about to say. While yes, Xavier Woods is the one member of the New Day to never hold a singles title, I wouldn't go for him beating Bobby Lashley. Now,
why not? He beat him before. He called Usher.
I mean, not for the championship. Not for the championship. Let me add that to it. Not for the championship.
I'm pushing for Woods.
The thing now, what I'm thinking is Big E cash in on Lashley and put New Day all back on one show.
Honestly, yeah, I think they are coming back on one show.
I mean, on one hand, I get how that kind of seems too easy, but it would make sense. It would make sense just for the sake of Big E. I guess wanting to avenge what happened to Kofi Kingston. Maybe you can run that angle.
I don't think I like that. I kind of like solo Big E right now.
Oh, I'm loving Big E as a solo act. Hell, he doesn't necessarily have to use that Money in the Bank contract on the Universal or World Heavyweight titles. Actually, right? He could literally challenge for any belt. He could use that on the Intercontinental Championship.
No. That's not how that works. It's a world championship, not an Intercontinental Championship.
It has to be one of the two big ones then.
Yeah, it has to be one of the two big ones.
I'm not saying, I wasn't saying, have him go back after Apollo Crews, nothing like that. I'm just like trying to reaffirm the rules of that contract.
It's just the world championships.
All right, yeah. Just confirming. Yeah, because I don't. Because that's what I want him to do, simply because Roman Reigns is doing way too good, and that's not how I want to see Roman Reigns lose that title if he does lose it.
So who? Big E?
Just because of with the Money in the Bank contract in general, if Roman Reigns were to go down, that's not how I want him to lose that belt.
How do you want him to lose the belt?
First of all, if I'm being blatantly honest, I don't want him to lose that title for another, year or so at all. Like I want him to keep this reign going as long as motherfucking possible until they milk this for all it's worth. Milk him as the Universal Champion on SmackDown for all it's worth, because this is gold. Everything Roman Reigns has been doing since he's joined up with Paul Heyman has been pure gold. So keep this running as long as possible when it comes to him.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm surprised you're saying that, because you're the type of person that be like, yo, they should dead it.
I'm gonna be honest. I was skeptical of this, of what's going on with Roman Reigns, but they're actually carrying this
why.
really. This has been getting carried really well, and it wasn't even. My beef with this wasn't even with Roman Reigns himself. It's just the writing has been subpar up until a certain point when it came to that title. Not even when it came to the wrestlers themselves, but with that title, with that championship. But this title reign with Roman Reigns has been fucking magnificent.
Because he already had it in him. That's what I tried to tell people. I felt like nobody listened to me when
I
it came to Roman Reigns. With
Roman Reigns being a fucking
I'm not talking about you. I'm not talking about you. I'm saying, because I've done seen a lot of people shit on Roman Reigns. I'm like, yo, just give him the right shit and he'll be good. I kept saying it.
The one thing that I was always saying that needed to happen to Roman Reigns, and when they finally did it, they did it in the illest way possible, and they gave him the perfect person to back him and make him the perfect heel and the champion that he is now. You know, like, again, turn him heel. You know, he ain't got to do much on the mic. That was always the biggest gripe with people when it came to Roman Reigns, was just his mic skills were you know. But everything about him has gone through the roof. You know, he was always a decent, you know, performer in ring during matches or whatever. But it's a whole other level. Add a few moves to his repertoire. It's a whole other. He's performing better than he ever fucking has. And the scary part about Roman Reigns right now is the fact that he just seems to get better and better week after fucking week. That's why I'm saying,
like, I always knew he had it.
That's the main reason I'm saying milk this. Milk him as champion for, you know, all it's worth. Because he gets a little bit better every time his ass is in front of that camera.
Okay. Any last words before we move on to our next topic?
Acknowledge me.
Also, hashtag no one listens to father.
Ever. I know what I'm talking about too. I don't be missing, and no one just wants to listen.
Okay. On to something that I find funny, because even though most of these topics I do find funny, the funny about all of them is BlerdCon happened this week, and I was there, Other was there, most of the black people was there. But the big controversy that I didn't find out until after BlerdCon was there was the cosplay contest, and a white girl won it. Now, me personally, I find this hilarious as fuck. So, gentlemen, I want you. I'm going to ask y'all, how do y'all feel about this situation that convention that was, I don't want to say intended for black people, but it was for black
It
people
was
to
intended for black people. It was.
It was intended for black people. And how do you feel that a white girl won a cosplay intended for black people?
Who did she dress as?
She wore a dress.
She wore a dress. It was card catching soccer or something like that.
Yeah, card capture soccer. I think that's what it was.
First of all, she went old school. Damn.
Second place was Eris.
And the Eris looked nice. I liked hers.
She did. It looked very nice.
I don't know how to feel about that. Honestly,
I already know how I feel.
For me, it's still a matter of processing that the fact that a white person won at an event that's supposed to be, for blacks. So it's a matter of processing that for me. I don't know how to respond to that. I don't know how to react to that. I don't know if I should react to it. Like, the only thing I can really think to say is congratulations. But,
Father, how about you? How do you feel about it?
We gave her the lane to do it, so she did it. That's all I can say about that. This is why I keep saying diversity and inclusion is overrated. Not that I think that it's a bad thing. I think it's a great thing. But the way this society is set up, it's not going to look like the way you want it to look like. And I've been saying this for years. So with BlerdCon being inclusive and, there's diversity, that's completely fine. You know what I'm saying? The fact that there was a cosplay contest, yeah, let's go for it. This particular individual was given the lane to join the cosplay contest, and she ended up winning the shit. You know what I'm saying? So at the very end of the day, no matter how you feel about it, she was given the lane to do so. So if you want to, this is why I say we are the worst gatekeepers fucking ever. Because every time we got something that we want to do, we always got to invite everybody. Everybody's invited to the cookout. Oh, like, you know what I'm talking about, that type shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just find it funny how every time you invite certain types of people or like you make an inclusive event, there's going to be certain situations that is not going to be to our liking. This is going to be one of them. But this is the price of diversity and inclusion. This is what you have to deal with. If you want to invite everyone to your shit, that's completely fine. I'm not opposed to it. We went over there. We had a good time. It was good. But when it comes to situations like that, you know what I mean? At that point, it's up to how people react, and people reacted. As you can see, they reacted. And I'm just like, at the very end of the day, she got that W. You can't take that. I mean, she made an apology. I saw the apology on Twitter. And she like genuinely apologized, but it's like, bruh, you shouldn't have joined that in the first place. I don't know who convinced you to join it, but yeah, like my people, we are traumatized people, so that shit is gonna be taken seriously. You know what I'm saying? Especially at a con that's supposed to center us, and someone that is not us is winning the cosplay. When people think about that, they're gonna get angry. So,
but at the same time, I get what you're saying, but at the same time, you know what I'm saying? She was allowed into the event. She was allowed into the contest.
She was allowed.
So it's just like, you can't. There's no sense in being angry. There's almost no real sense in being angry.
Yeah, that's why I'm putting it more on the. I'm putting it more on a lot of these Negroes out here, because it's like, yeah, I understand your anger, but she was invited. This was an all-inclusive event. You know, we can, like, if we can really talk about if we want an all-black con just to ourselves, but the problem is it can't be advertised like that. Of course, you can't do that, but BlerdCon, I think it's fine as it is. You know what I'm saying? I think it still kept its core message and its core value. It's just when shit like that happens, there's going to be a response that you're probably not going to like, but it's kind of a justified response. I understand where they're coming from. I understand the anger.
When I remember you asked me this question, and my reaction to it, this is hilarious. Because first things first, and according to Xavier, a white person won the 2019 one.
Oh, so this ain't even the first time.
Yeah. So I'm like, okay, the fact that you told me
question home, that drives my question home. Then why are you mad? That just drives my question home even further. Why the fuck are you mad?
No, but Dion, they did clarify that a lot of people who was doing that shit, they didn't even go to the con in the first place. So from the outside, like people from outside of the con was commenting on it more so than people who was actually in.
Okay, then if you weren't even there, then fuck you.
Yeah, but you know, everybody got a voice, Dion. First Amendment.
If you weren't even at the motherfucking event, then fuck you. I was
my First Amendment rights.
I have no reason to care. I wasn't there. I wasn't participating in it. I got no reason to care. That's why I'm like, you know, I don't know how to respond to this.
But Dion, I wasn't at the BET Awards, but I'm still talking about the BET Awards.
Who gives a shit?
It's just like at the very end of the day, you're gonna go to the one next year, and you're gonna have a good ass time. So, like, bruh, it happened, but nigga, if you don't want it to happen again, just step your shit up.
These events, though. I really do want to go to one of these events just at least one time. I don't know if I'm gonna like dress up for it, but I do want to go.
I didn't dress up. I didn't dress up.
I'll dress up one day.
Yeah, me too. I said I would dress up.
I do go. I'm gonna want to, just for the simple fact of I don't know when I'm gonna be able to go a second time, so I'm gonna want to show my ass.
It's in DC next year, so at least I know they say Chocolate City. So obviously, I think they're bringing it to DC, and I think they're bringing it to the. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure if they said DC, so they're pretty sure they're bringing it to where they hold Otakon and AwesomeCon at.
What, the Walter Convention Center?
Yeah, I hope so because that's a good area. I like that area. Virginia, the spot in Virginia was cool, but that spot in the Walter Convention is a good spot where everybody can get to. That's why I like that. I love that better than where they have MagFest. Even though MagFest is fun as fuck, I hate that location.
The harbor?
The MagFest. Yeah, the harbor. I do not like the harbor.
Interesting.
I know it's weird, but you know,
you're not the only person I've heard say that they don't like going down to the National Harbor for certain shit. You're not the first person I've heard say that, so I'm not even.
It's just out the way. It's very out the way. And like in the cold, that shit is cold. It's like super cold over there. I think it's because we're near water.
Yeah, it's cold.
Yeah, I was about to say. I'm pretty sure it's because we're fucking near water. But I be having okay times at CastleCon. Backfest, I had a blast. But CastleCon, I be having like, I'm here. But Otakon, I be having a blast. AwesomeCon, even though it's not an all night thing, I be having fun there too. So if it is at the Walter Convention Center, which I pray it is, they're going to sell a lot of tickets, in my opinion. But I don't know, and also I don't know if this would condone have anything to do with the white girl winning, but it just reminded me of all the black cosplayers getting mad. People talking about how their cosplays, the so and so isn't black. Them winning, I don't know why. It reminded me of that, and I was like, now you have a place where you could have your cosplay and no one can judge you by it, just if it looks good or not, and y'all still lose.
Again, my question from a few minutes ago still stands. Who the fuck cares?
Yo, you say that, but motherfuckers really care.
Diversity and inclusion, everybody.
Yeah, diversity and inclusion, especially like when you say like so and so isn't black. Like I'll be seeing them, Hinata's not black. When they do an anime cosplay and the white people talk about so and so isn't black, it really gets to them. Like it really, really, I'll be seeing it. It really, really be getting to them. And I don't want to say their feelings is hurt, but they will tell you about it. And I've always said, fuck them. Like half of the when I go to Otakon, some of the worst costumes is from white people. I'm not even fronting. They have the worst cosplay. It was like,
and they be chilling. They be chilling with their bad cosplays.
Yeah, they be chilling with their bad cosplay. Yeah. Blerd call
the bad wigs that they bought off of Wish and shit. Just
I'm not gonna lie. I was gonna go as Biggie Smalls in the Flavor in Your Air video, but it was fucking hot. I was like, I'm not wearing black in this weather. But any last words on this so we can get up to our next topic?
Diversity and inclusion.
Let that shit go. It's not that serious. Let that shit go.
And I'm going to the one next year because I like the event. I like the event, so I'm gonna go.
Yeah, BlerdCon be lit. Like if anybody that's never been to BlerdCon, go to BlerdCon. You will have a fun. You have a fun time. 2018 is the one I went to, and that was one of the best cons I went to that year. And then,
that was the best con that year, bro.
That was the best con that year. Hands down. And
hands down.
It might be the best con this year, depending on how things go. Oh. So, all right, our next topic. Y'all heard about the whole thing about T-Pain ranting on people talking about doing something different?
Yeah, I heard.
Do something else.
There, Dion. Dion got an evil.
Do something else. That shit was the funniest thing in the world to me. Still is.
Oh, I loved it. But from my old head's perspective. But let me get through this. I guess if anybody doesn't know, T-Pain be streaming on Twitch, and I guess they send the music to him to listen to it. And every once in a while he tell you like, I've already heard this and something different, and then people get mad about his opinion. So basically, let off a big rant. He's like, the shit you're doing, basically, and I'm paraphrasing. The shit you're doing, Lil Baby's doing it, the Baby's doing it. There's two niggas with babies in their names doing the same shit. He's like, we already got a Lil Uzi. He wants to hear something different. And he yelled out, do something else! So, gentlemen, I ask you, how do y'all feel about T-Pain's rant about the way people kind of like get their music out?
I mean, I understand him.
Where was the lie in what he was saying? Like, he's not wrong. He wasn't wrong.
Yeah, but like right now, the music game is about who's trendy. You know what I'm saying? That's why everything sounds so similar, because that's
but you're not going to be trendy doing what the nigga before you is doing. You just following the motherfucker.
No, but they're following because that's what's trending. They follow that shit because that's what's trending. You think it's not a coincidence Lil Wayne came out at the time he came out? Well, not Lil Wayne. That's a bad example. Fucking Young Thug. You know how many people Young Thug has influenced? You know how many people Future has influenced with their sound alone? A lot of motherfuckers.
A lot.
XXXTentacion, bruh. You know how many fucking people was influenced? It's all about what's trending. That's why everything sounds the same.
You know how many people dyed half their hair blonde and the other half black, or
Bruh.
they just had blue dreads?
That nigga
'Cause
was
the
a
ex-
whole phenomenon, bro. They was putting it on anime characters and all that shit.
This is true.
So I understand what T-Pain is saying, and what T-Pain is saying is right. They are doing the same shit over and over and do something else, but that comes with time. You just gotta let them have their time. You know what I'm saying? It's their time now.
Dion, what about you?
Jeez. Wait, say that again?
That's it, Dion. That's just it.
Oh. Yeah.
Okay, all right, I guess I'll go. As an old head, and also as someone that reviews music on my channel, I've said this about R&B, especially with the R&B females, is just that the music is good, but they all sound the same. The first time I said that was like when I was reviewing Lemme's album, and I like Lemme, but I always said I could take her out and put someone like a 7th Street in there, and you wouldn't recognize the difference. I could take her out and put whoever's popping at that time, or Summer Walker, or Lemme, and all that other stuff. You couldn't tell the difference. There was times where I think on a song where it was just like Lemme and Janae Aiko, and I could not tell the difference at all. SZA I love SZA, but she's kind of iffy like that, except, she's more or less neo soul. But if you put her on an R&B, I sometimes like it. I gotta really listen to point her out. Rap's been like that for like the longest. It seems like where I could, and the thing is, like, old heads like me and people from my time of era, we came from people where if you bit somebody, like, that was a taboo. Like, you did not sound like it. DMX did not sound like Snoop Dogg. They basically came out around the same time. Snoop, I know, was like early 90s, but when you look at that versus, DMX's music was way different than Snoop music. DMX was boom bap, Snoop was G-Funk. Biggie, yes, he was East Coast, but Biggie's shit was, Biggie's did not sound like a Tupac. Biggie's did not sound like Jay-Z.
Right.
Redman did, like, Wu-Tang Clan was their own thing. And they had 9 different niggas in their group. None of them sounded alike. So I'm coming from that era. So when we tell like all these little rappers and these littles and people, all y'all sound alike, it's because y'all do. Like, I just reviewed G's album and I said that nigga sound like other fucking rappers in this, like the Lil Babies and the Lil Durks and all that other stuff. It's just, you do sound like that. Yeah. Hell, I think some of the female rappers starting to sound like.
Hell, I'm not gonna lie. Way back when Panda first came out, I thought that was Future.
Yeah, everybody thought Panda was Future. Come to find out that was Designer. Doja Cat, God bless her soul, and I don't know if I'm gonna get hate for this or not, but she sound like Diet Nicki Minaj. And it's funny because I used to call Logic Diet Kendrick. Shout out to Phil. Because
wow.
Phil hate when I call Logic Diet Kendrick, but he does. It's just like and I like Logic. When he's doing his own shit, he sounds great, but when he does stuff that sounds like Kendrick should be on it, he does. A lot of these people, and like Father said, it's not what's different, it's what's trendy. So you getting all these people that's doing this what's trendy, it should sound saturated. And now, like, we're in a time where you can just blow up on SoundCloud instead of like going through a record deal. And like, it's just like you getting your music. I be listening to my nephew's music now. I be like, who the fuck is this? And why is he so trash? I be like, this the new hotness.
That's your nephew, dog.
You act like,
but I guess you gotta be honest with him.
Don't get me wrong. There's some people in this era that I do like, but if I had to hear, I told people all the time, I'm not a big Shy Glizzy fan. I be hearing Shy Glizzy, I was like, yo, this shit is trash. I've always said that. But most of the rappers I hear
Glitzy is
now,
corny.
yeah, most of the rappers I hear now is I don't find them appealing. Y'all already know how I feel about Lil Yachty.
I don't know how he got famous. Shit, honest shit. The only I is it me or DMV
Yo, but
niggas? DMV rappers are just
you said
most of these
DMV
cats that
rappers
I
or just
like. Most of these niggas out of the DMV, they just no.
DMV? I feel like you know what's funny about the DMV, and I say this all the time. We should be like the South, but we're more like the North. Instead of helping people get on, we'll stab you in the back and say, "Fuck that nigga." We should my shit more hotter. My shit is better than theirs.
But
Like,
the problem is, the vast majority of these niggas is corny. So honestly, you need all the fucking help you can get.
bruh, look, I've heard some artists from. You're not lying. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, there was a dude
It's
that
only it's only one nigga from around here that like I can honestly say, yeah, I like his music, I fuck with his music, and even though I met the nigga here, he ain't even originally from this motherfucker. So I don't know if he counts.
Oh,
Nigga I went to high school with. He goes by the stage name Lil Lean.
never heard of him. So,
I
but
can send you some of his shit. He actually sounds good, but
no, we had some DMV artists that I think is good. I do think Logic is good when he wants to be, but when he stopped talking that biracial shit, I think that's when he threw everybody off. But Wale, I think Wale is the best thing that came out of DMV. I do like Fat Trail. I think Fat Trail is nice. Uh, uh, I don't know if y'all remember Tabby Bonet, but I liked him, even though Q don't like him. Shout out to Q. But I do think we had some people, but we're not like the South. The South, like, they will fuck with each other, but it's like even the West, because the West will fuck with each other because that's all they got. But it seems like we act like New York niggas. It's like, well, we'd rather stab you in the back than fuck with you.
and then and then when it comes to rappers out of New York, honestly, it just solely depends on exactly who the fuck you are.
But rappers in New York don't even sound like rappers in New York no more, unless they're doing fucking drill. That's how I
Man,
feel about New York rappers. They don't even sound like New York rappers. Like, only
I ain't
people that's
stop for
doing the
that.
boom, only people that's doing the boom bap are the old heads.
I guess.
I don't know. Any last words before we move on to our next topic?
Do something else.
Do something else. Okay. Did any of y'all know about Joe Biden and his town hall meeting?
Not really.
Okay. Just to save you
Ah,
the highlights, but just to save you the time, I got the highlights for you. And this is from USA Today. Uh, Joe Biden believes that Democrats and Republicans to work together to find out what happened on January 6th. I can care less. Um, that came hours after Nancy Pelosi rejected two Republicans who were picked for the House committee. Biden says getting rid of the filibuster, and this was like the big thing about it, because they asked him, "You want to get rid of the filibuster?" And he doesn't want to. And it says getting rid of the filibuster would throw the entire Congress into the chaos. And the other highlight is, but the president said the push to protect voting rights shouldn't be all about the filibuster. Also, they asked him about COVID, and like people, he had some mixed reactions about COVID too. So, um, but I asked y'all, like, do y'all do y'all think he's doing a good job, or do y'all think he's kind of like been bullshitting?
You know, a little bit of both. It's a little bit of both for me.
I feel the same way. I feel the same way, and I want to look this up because I think he said something about the Latino culture being the future, and I'm like,
Yes, I saw that shit too.
okay, so it was real.
Yeah, nah, it was real. I
Okay,
think it was also, I think it was Nancy Pelosi more so, but yeah, I did see something about that, and I'm like, who? Hmm. Mm. I'm telling you, right in our fucking faces, bro. They're ignoring you right in your motherfucking face.
okay, all right. I found this article, and it says, "quotes." Unlike the African American community, with notable exceptions, the Latino community is an incredibly diverse community with incredibly diverse attitudes about different things. Biden said, you go to Florida, you find a different attitude about immigration than you do to Arizona. So it's a very diverse community. Um, if you look at the full video in this transcript, it's clear Vice President Biden was referring to diversity of attitudes among Latinos from different Latin American countries. Simone Sanders, a senior Biden campaign advisor. The video is that circulates convenient cut to make it about racial diversity, but that's not the case. I am calling bullshit. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm calling bullshit. I don't, and to piggyback what Father said, I don't know how many times the government, the Democrat or the Republicans, mostly the Democrats, they say they for you and don't do shit for you. Be mindful that be mindful that 80 to 90% of Black America voted for this man to get in office. We can't even get the filibuster to pass, nor less fucking laws passed for us. And I still don't think we're putting our foot on his neck. Go ahead, Father.
Nah, you're right. I think that he got in office. He said, thank you, Black people, and then ignored us. And then you got niggas like, because it was the same Simone Sanders and Stacey Abrams and all those people that was looking to get a job at the actual White House, and they didn't fucking get it. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of smoke coming for Biden, but it's like I said in one of the last podcast episodes, like Black people, our political, we're politically ignorant, but at the same time, our political beliefs shift after every 4 years, after every election. So when Obama was coming in, like, we had to ride for Obama. There was no fucking choice. This motherfucker is not white, so vote for this motherfucker just to spite these bitches. Then the white lash happened. Trump came in. The most incompetent man in America is now the president of the United States. So then Black folks was sitting there. We're all like, oh man, Trump is bad, but we've been through worse. We've been through worse, right? So then it's Trump versus Biden. You got the liberal Negroes sitting over there with their John Lewis shirts talking about we need to get Trump out of office and all this shit. And I'm like, bruh, you're putting red devil away and you're putting blue devil in. Yet you're trying to tell us to vote because it's going to make a difference in how you're going to be seen. These are the same motherfuckers that put fucking Black Lives Matter on the street as if it's supposed to solve anything. So it's like, bruh, you put this motherfucker in, don't fucking complain. You tell us don't complain if we don't vote. Don't complain because you put that motherfucker in. You know what I'm saying? It just,
Hey, that grunt that you just did, that's how I'll be feeling.
Like, bruh. It's just over and over and over again at this point. It's just like, these people are not going to fight for you, Democrat or Republicans. They don't like y'all.
It's come to a point that I want white people to build a spaceship because I know they are. Whenever they discover a new planet and go there, I want them to build a spaceship and leave us here. I really do. I really fucking like. I like. I feel like, and also I feel like we really. I don't know if America really wants to fix itself. It's just that we have ideas to better this country, and the government's like, no. This is no. It's like people with mental health issues, mental illness, and people struggling to get jobs, and then we have ideas, to help people get jobs, and then people are just like, no, we can't even get people to agree on a livable wage amount. And
Which we already have, by the way. We know what the livable wage amount is, and we can afford it.
And we can't afford it. I think that our generation, the people younger than us, we see the bullshit, but we really need to. I'm not gonna lie, we need to get these old people out. That's how I feel. All right, it needs a new, fresh coat of paint, and like fresh young ideas, because obviously these people don't know it. I'm not gonna say they don't know what the fuck you're doing. I just think they just don't. They're not thinking for the future. They're thinking for themselves.
I mean, I would go as far as to say as that the United States needs a reset button. It just needs a hard fucking reset, because the foundation that America was built on is exactly the reason why we're having the issues we're having today. That shit is 400 years of just stupid ass tradition that doesn't work, that's outdated, and motherfuckers don't want to get rid of it because democracy.
Niggas is late to the party.
I'm not gonna lie to you. The first thing,
niggas is late to the party.
Hey man, they all maybe late, but on time. Crystal and D Wolf has into the chat. How y'all know?
Good. So I got a gripe with you, Dion.
What I do?
So what had happened was I got the link through Facebook, but I forgot that you switched over to Insta. So I was waiting on Facebook. So that's what happened.
Wow, this is your fault.
Yeah. We're not going to talk about that. We're not going to talk about whose fault it is.
So what did I miss? Oh my god.
Hold on, wait, nigga, what? You talking about for this? Because I forwarded this link to you through the Facebook Messenger like I always do.
No, it's through Facebook, not through Insta.
He muted him.
Yo, Dion, you trying to sabotage them?
No, I'm muting my mic real quick because I was using the bathroom. But
you know what?
Convenient. I believe him.
But what it is that he sent me the topics already on Insta, so I should have been like, okay, well, more than likely, let me just leave Insta open so I can get it. But we're here. We're here.
you
should be talking about
not paying attention though, like.
But you see, Dion, in a girl's world, it's still your fault though. So just with it.
Remember that, Dion, is always the man's fault.
That's what's wrong with this motherfucker now. That's what's wrong with the dating world now.
We was just talking about Joe Biden in the town hall meeting. Have y'all seen that?
Bits and pieces.
Bits and pieces. What you think about it, D Wolf?
Well, because of things I know, I can't really get into it because it goes deep inside a rabbit hole. But the little pieces I got, I just picked up on lie after lie after lie, and I'm like, are people who and like the 20 people in the audience, and the first thing they did, which was not necessary, was talk about the jab. Who in the audience had a jab? Yeah, everybody has it here. Blah, blah, blah. Why did that need to be mentioned? Let's get the show started. That's number one. And I'm like, are those people real? I already know it's a game. I just, yeah. So it's hard to talk about politics because I know too much on the subject and from what mainstream talks about. So when I talk about things like that, it's kind of alien and it goes too far. So
I don't know. It's just like I want them to do something about the filibuster, but it's obvious they're not going to do nothing. And I think if it's bullshit, I think he had a bullshit answer about it. It could go into chaos. It's just like
You ain't gonna go into no damn chaos. Like, look at what fucking happened in January 6th. You want to talk about chaos? You better do what you need to do. Like, bruh, they sound like children at this point. Like, what the fuck are y'all so afraid of? Aren't y'all supposed to be America?
yo, this is why I be like, they need to go.
Like, nah, but like, think about it like this: these are the same motherfuckers. If they found an oil reserve all the way in fucking Iraq or something, they're the first motherfuckers over there trying to get that shit. As soon as some domestic shit happens, they want to buck their eyes and pretend like shit ain't happening. Bruh.
I'm not. Yeah, I'm not gonna front. I don't like that either. Any last words before we move on to our next topic?
God bless the USA.
Speaking of the USA, I don't know if y'all heard about this. Mississippi asked U.S. Supreme Court to overturn Roe v. Wade. So, lawyers for the state of Mississippi urged U.S. Supreme Court on Thursday to overturn Roe v. Wade, taking a more aggressive approach than the one presented when they asked the court 1 year ago to hear the case. The case for overturning two main decisions: legalize abortions in the United States, Roe v. Wade in 1973, and a later case in 1992, the Planned Parenthood versus Casey, is overwhelming. The conclusion that abortion is a constitutional right and basically basis in text, structure, history, or tradition. Basically, I think they're trying to get rid of abortion being legal. If I'm breaking it down simple, how do y'all feel about that?
I feel like it's ridiculous. The reason being that if we are truly to be free and to make our own decisions over our own body, why is it a court that can determine? I get it. It's a certain rate at the way a child developed in a womb that would be considered a child at a certain weeks, like 8 weeks. They would say not to abort, but at the same time, you don't have a perfect situation. So, if it's a rape case, that child's still, going to get, mistreated or have any mental issues because the mom's ill-treating it for whatever reason. We just don't know. Just let people make the right decision for themselves and deal with the decisions that they've made. It's no reason for the courts to get involved the way that they're getting involved. It's kind of ridiculous.
Anybody else want to jump on this?
So, when it comes to abortion, I think I'm pro-choice. So, I think it's ultimately up to the woman because, this is her body at stake. And it hits especially home for Black women because, medical racism literally kills these women on a almost genocidal basis. So this decision to overturn Roe v. Wade, I understand, this is what I mean when I say I understand feminists and what they're fighting for. But I think for the Black community, this particular case is going to harm a lot of Black women. So we need to be paying attention because if there's ever a situation where, your woman has a pregnancy she wants to terminate, or if there's ever a situation in which she can't have that and the baby is a liability to her health, then you see where this shit can get messy and even more Black women would die as a result. So I think it's something that we need to take seriously because this is some wild shit. The fact that they can tell women that you cannot get an abortion, That's wild. But they're so quick to fund wars. They're so quick to send young boys and men to war to fight for shit that doesn't even really belong to us in the first place. But you draw the line at a woman terminating a pregnancy that has absolutely nothing to do with you. Blows my fucking mind.
Does it make it
Go ahead, Debo.
does it make it illegal to have an abortion, or just restrict government interference?
So from what I understand, it's basically like you remember how they outlawed alcohol like back in the day, right? It's kind of like that. Like if a woman wants to get an abortion, doctors or like they can't legally give her an abortion. They'd be prosecuted, or anyone who is caught doing an abortion will be prosecuted. Type shit. I believe that's what it is.
Where I fall on it is like at this point, it shouldn't even be where it is now. It should be where it is now. It shouldn't even be looked at, undone, whatever. Just let it roll. Because the damage that, what we know has been done. So at this point, why bother? Why make this an issue? It's already legal. They have the choice. It's my body, my choice. Let's respect that and just move on. If you disagree with it, then fine. Do with you and your family. Let's stop. Like Crystal said, White House courts. Come on. Who's bitching about it? Until it comes up, that's when people want to start. Until some politician starts addressing it, that's when people want to start talking about it. Nobody's really thinking about it like that. Unless it's in-house, in a family, whatever the situation is, or between couples, blah, blah, blah. Let it stay there. That's,
And I do have more to say on it, but I know that Dion gets it, so I'll go ahead.
No. This is a bit of a big deal.
So again, the fact that it's targeting a specific group of people, and I don't want to sound like a conspiracy theorist, but at the same time, who is it really affecting if a woman is unable to get an abortion? Is it the Black woman? Because I think it is.
Yeah, I think it is too.
Okay. Now,
when it comes to getting one?
To getting pregnant and wanting to get...
the wanting to get one.
Yeah, like having...
Oh, yeah, okay.
To, not have financial worries.
Yeah.
But at the same time, the alarming amount of children that are missing in the United States, I think the only reason that this is even being an issue is because maybe they don't have enough organs to go around for everyone. Okay? Because at the end of the day, if a woman cannot take care of her child, they are going to go in the system. And the system has many missing children that they cannot keep track of. And it just happens to be Black boys and Black little girls. And when it comes to, organ
that was a plan from jump.
So maybe with the pandemic, now they want to overturn shit because they have to get back their profits. I don't mean to sound like an asshole, but what is the big deal all of a sudden?
Exactly. Where is this coming from?
And you also have to factor in that in the United States, especially the conservatives and people who lean right, it's that conservative Christian evangelical type shit too. So they really big on abortion, and abortions are like practically banned in their type of framework of thinking. So that's why it doesn't surprise me Mississippi is the one doing that shit. Mississippi back in wasn't it just recently changed their flag to not have the Confederate flag in that shit anymore? So that type of shit, like that's always been here in this country, but whenever we talk about it, people want to make it seem like it happened hundreds of years ago. And it's like, no, these motherfuckers are right here.
Right.
Them the motherfuckers that Trump got 75 million votes, and these are the very same people that reside in this country that have a big ass voice because their ancestors have been in that area ever since the fucking Civil War. That side of America never fucking died. So that's why it's dangerous for things like this to happen, because these people do not like a particular type of people. And now they can use this to push very harmful things towards our people. So we need to take this shit seriously.
Any last words before we move on to our final thoughts?
Nah.
Okay. All right. We'll go to our final thoughts, and I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna start with D Wolf.
Was there any topics that I missed?
We talked about the money in the bank. We talked about T-Pain, talking about doing something else. We was talking about a convention me and Father went to, BlerdCon, where a white girl won the best cosplay award, and I guess that was it, right?
Yep.
Huh. I guess I want to touch. I guess I want to touch on that real quick, then.
Okay, go ahead.
So, I have a, like, was this all inclusive?
Yes.
Okay. And it's run by a black man, I believe.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So, what I'm trying to understand, she's laughing. They're mad because an all-inclusive, and it's run by black people. So we know where it's coming. It's in the name. So you're not losing anything. And it's all-inclusive. I will bet she's gay. I will bet, because that's the demographic. But that's all-inclusive. And they're mad she won? The same people, again, I think I said this a few weeks ago, the same people are mad, yet a lot of these black cosplayers are married to what? When they announced Ariel to be the new, they announced that black girl to be the new Ariel in the live action Little Mermaid.
Chloe Bailey, I think.
Halle.
Yeah.
It was Halle now.
Okay. So what about all the Asian dudes they were trying to get to be the prince? Hardly found a black face in the list of the trending of who. There was a trending list of who should be the prince. And I'm scrolling down that list. I've seen 2 black faces. One of the actors I'm familiar with. Kept scrolling down, probably a good 10 white guys, but the rest, Asian. Let's not forget what most of these cosplayers cosplay as. Asian characters, right? And nowadays, I am also proud. I'm gonna say this. I'm also proud of all these black creators who are fine, because I'm on Instagram and I'm sharing the hell out of this shit because I want them to get the attention, because they recognize that when they create their own original black characters, I want to make sure all my black friends see it. But I also have to point out, because of this, what's the animation style? A lot of our original black centric characters that are in animation, what is it inspired by? Anime. In turn, Japanese culture. And that means you're walking a fine line and you're reaching cultural appropriation. So all this shit, and I'm seeing that this is all in fun. I'm not seeing it by race, this and the other. When I see it by race, I'm seeing who started it, who's doing this, and what to appreciate. Not who did it better, this and the other, what to take in, like what's cool, what's not, as it should be. But they always want to bring this race, color, this, that, and the other, and they fail to recognize that none of our black characters are all black anyway. The ones that we see in the mainstream, they weren't created by black people. Maybe a couple of stories here and there in the comic books, but no. But you want to switch the race and shit like that and put it on a white man and not give Icon and Static. All these characters, even the comedic ones, why don't somebody go back and be like, yo, remember when Damon Wayans played Black Man? Let's not make a series about this shit. Huh?
I would have loved the Black Man series.
Yo, because remember the anime, there was like a little animation in the beginning. Yo, imagine. So all this shit we're complaining about, you know, and they're the first ones to complain about all inclusivity. And they were mad because your rules allow a white woman to win. So if this is how it's going to be, then segregate it. Just do it. Be the only ones out of all the cons in the world to be the segregated ones, right? Repeat the history of the masters that you so-called want to fight. Do that. But let's calm down and have fun, please. Appreciate everybody's shit. And if they try to steal it from you or hide it from you, that's when you talk about it. That's when you complain about it. That's when you fight for it. But before that happens, have your fun and stop bitching where there's no problem. Have your safeguards, fine. But let's calm down here. This shit is not necessary. And you made it necessary because your stupid ass rules. All inclusive. It was always all inclusive. Always. What do you mean? You know how many white comic book fans I follow on YouTube and all that shit? You know how much they love the black characters? You know how mad they are that they switching up white characters? I'm like, why are you mad more than me? I'm the black one here. You know? So when I see this and they're acting like all these white guys and this, that, and the other, like, come on, yo. Really? You see them complaining? They're saying the same thing black creators and black blerds are complaining about. Leave us alone. Let us create our shit and let's share the wealth, yo. Let's have fun with this. But yeah, I ran it on too long with that. My bad. But that's my thoughts on that subject.
I did want to ask this one question though. Do y'all think she should give back her winnings?
No.
No.
Yes.
No.
No, I don't think she should give it back.
Nah, I think she should give it back.
No.
Think about this on the long run. Think about this in the long run. The con is called Blerd Con. And you, who is not a Blerd, won the cosplay competition, right? Now, you were given the lane to do so. That's completely fine. I'm not saying that she didn't deserve the win when I'm saying take it away, but her giving back the position shows that she's in solidarity with the mission of BlerdCon in the first place, which was to give a space for black people to, you know, nerd out without no racism or nothing like that. If she kept that prize, she would be contradicting that mission.
I couldn't. Because this is all inclusive. Remember? This is not, they didn't segregate this to begin, and we understand and we always recognize. We know by the name who did this. Blerds. That's all I follow, yo. So I recognize. I don't care if some white bitch won the fucking thing. I'm like, okay, good for you. Good job. It's all inclusive, right? We have all inclusive. So now that this happens, I don't think she should give it back because now it's like, now it's ridiculous. Now you might as well segregate. You might as well do it. Because we're just repeating his. Yeah.
I mean, if you ask me, I feel like we should segregate, but that's just my personal thing. But like, I don't have an issue with the fact that it's all inclusive. That's completely fine. It's just if she won that competition, the optics of her giving it back would actually help the mission statement of BlerdCon and what they're trying to represent. Because
I think they should have stopped her.
I
they
mean,
should have just stopped her from even competing. Once they let her compete,
yeah, but
they cannot do anything. They can't say anything. Now they're gonna put this girl through this, and she went there to have fun. She won something. Now she has to do this under pressure. If she won, and she feels like she won, and she deserves it.
But
come on, son.
What you're saying?
I'm like, that's not. And her winning does not take away anything from the BlerdCon. They ain't stopping nobody from showing up, yo. Because I'm here, I see it, and there are plenty of people saying the same. So it ain't take away my blackness. It ain't take away what I'm gonna create or what I'm a fan of. So what you want?
But to your point, I think what you just said is the double-edged sword with being inclusive. That is the fucking double-edged sword in the society that we live in, because we know the history. We know the fact that these people deliberately take away black voices and black spaces and reduce us to sidekicks and shit like that. That's why BlerdCon is a thing, to recognize people who like we don't want to be the sidekick anymore. That's the entire energy around it. So when you have someone that doesn't look like the people we're trying to uplift, take a prize that could have gone to someone who does represent that type of energy, who does represent what they're trying to, do with the con. I like when she gives that back, it makes her look like it makes her look like she's actually doing it because she genuinely cares about what BlerdCon is trying to do. You know what I'm saying? Now, like with us, regardless of whether she gave it back or not, I don't think we would care. I certainly don't care. But I'm just looking at it in the optics of that. I'm just looking at it in the sense that if she does give it back, then that prize can be given to someone who felt like they deserve it. Now, she already won, so it is kind of redundant to take back the prize. But the fact that she herself like gave it back, I'm like, okay, you know what? I think she learned from this, because at the end of the day, isn't the point of all of this is to learn and be better people?
But I don't understand what's there to learn. Just you don't have to give it back to learn. You don't have to lose something you did not expect to be a problem. They didn't stop you. They didn't say anything. And I haven't heard from the creator. I didn't hear his position on it. So really and truly, it should be up to him. But if she went, how about how she feels? Okay. Not the optics of it. I understand the optics. I understand that part. But what about her? Okay, and we like to talk about what was it again? The mental, mental health. What about her? Now the whole world is on her, and she has to lose something she won, just appease the world. And now she mentally, how is she feeling? We cannot guarantee she's going to feel like, oh, she did something right. Not when she worked so hard on the costume, this, that, and the other. Not when nobody told her, hey, maybe you shouldn't, blah, blah, blah. Nobody stopped her. She's all in. She ready. She got it. I'm taking this home. I'm posting this. I'm this, that, and the other. She's hearing all this. She has to give it back. That does not feel good, yo. So, and to make this person, this is like this. I don't know. I can't see that.
So here's the thing. The creator he released a 25-minute video going over the case. And I personally didn't watch it because, again, I didn't care. I went to the con to have a good-ass fucking time. I could care less who's winning no cosplay contest.
Exactly.
I was just having a good-ass motherfucking time with my niggas. But so here's a few things, right, about your point. So, number one, the people that were originally mad at the fact that she won, most of those people did not go to the con. Those were people from the outside. That was the biggest thing. And also, number two, she wrote a thread on Twitter about giving back the prize and giving back the first place position because of what I just explained. She understands that BlerdCon is supposed to be a space for people who don't feel represented to be the spotlight, to be represented. So her winning a cosplay contest contradicts that. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, she earned it. Yeah, she was given the lane to do so. Nobody turned her away. But again,
still, she knew that going in though. But she turned around and said a statement. Then why'd you compete?
That's another question.
She didn't think she was going to win. She did say that in the thread. I ain't think I was going to win.
So
I got one question.
Then why would she do that? Then she setting shit up.
No, I got one question about this whole thing. Who declared her the winner?
The judges.
It was like, I think it was 3 black judges and 1 white judge.
And what demographic did the judges fall under?
He just said it. Most of them were black.
Okay.
Most of them was black.
Okay, then why are we having this conversation? This is the victor was chosen by a group of Blerds at Blerd.
Look. Again, that's why I was saying, listen, that's why I was saying the people that were mad at it, most of those people that were speaking up and speaking out against it did not go to the con. That's why it became a controversy.
To go to the event in the first place, as I said earlier, their opinion shouldn't even fucking matter.
But look at where you're at, Dion.
Who gives a shit?
It doesn't matter about giving a shit. Look where you're at. People are going to react. People are going to say shit. That's just what it is. They're gonna do it, regardless of whether you care or not.
No. They weren't there. They didn't go to the event. they didn't enter no cosplay contest, nothing like that. Fuck them. If they weren't there, they have nothing to do with the event itself. Fuck them. There's
Different
no point
folks,
in having
different
this
strokes.
conversation if most of the people bitching about this shit weren't even at the event to begin with. This is a pointless conversation.
Different folks, different strokes, and we having a conversation because now it's at the forefront. Yeah, I agree they shouldn't have commented. I agree who really cares, but there are people who care, and we're just gonna have to deal with that. That's just what it is.
It's just look, the whole situation. Honestly, it's stupid, and
I think it's incredibly
it's got
stupid.
you and people going in circles.
I agree that it's incredibly stupid because I keep saying it. Y'all gave her the lane to compete. She competed. She won. Boom. Diversity and inclusion.
So I have a quick question about this whole. No, we're taking up a lot. Like we're having a whole new topic about discussion about.
This isn't a new topic. This is just
I apologize. It's really interesting because
This is my fault.
You did start this. This is your fault.
Yeah,
You're right.
But it's kind of like it's interesting because in Korea, and I don't know if this relates to it, but I'm sure you guys will correct me. But in Korea, BTS is a good example. They utilize a lot of Black culture. Like anyone else, it's just that it seems like Korean people get more profit off of it and more recognition worldwide, which is unprecedented. So it's interesting because they created their own, I guess, their own lane, utilizing our culture. Would you say that BlerdCon is like that? And this question is really directed to Farah. Like, would you say that BlerdCon is doing that? Like they're accepting Asian culture or anime or that type of way of doing things and then creating a whole lane and saying that it's theirs and to segregate it? Like, do you find that that's kind of fucked up or you're like, okay, it's different?
Okay. So I think with BlerdCon, again, BlerdCon is a space where people who feel misrepresented or don't feel as seen can be the spotlight in a fandom. Because in American culture, anime is very popular. So they have conventions as a result. And within those conventions, because racism is so deeply ingrained in our culture, it's also going to reflect in those spaces because, again, this is American culture. It's an American appreciation of an Asian culture. I think with BTS, it is kind of a similar thing because they do appreciate Black culture and it shows in their references and like how they do shit. Whether we can say it's appropriation would kind of depend on whether they themselves say they invented something because that's what appropriation is. It's saying it's taking something from another culture and saying it's yours. That's why white people are the greatest appropriators. Us, like as Black people and as Asian people, we don't really appropriate shit because we all have our own unique, distinct cultures. It wasn't until the influence of Western society became a thing to where people thought they could take other shit and say, oh, well, this is mine now because I like it, and boom. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So
the whole I licked it, so now it's mine mentality.
Yeah, like, and that's the shit that white folks used to do back in the day.
Right.
So with BlerdCon, this is just this is just again people who like anime, people who like video games, people who like comic books and all that shit. We're just censoring the fact that these are Black people because Black people, we are the most marginalized, and we want people to understand that we're not just sidekicks, we're not just Black, we're not just the help. You know what I'm saying? Every time you see a white superhero, you see some Negro on the side helping and shit. Like, we're not that. This is to center, like, we do dope shit. You know what I'm saying? And Black cosplayers, whenever they wear cosplay and they go to them other cons, they're subject to harassment and people saying, oh, that's not a Black character and stupid shit like that. So this is a space for them to get away from all that. So, like, the inclusivity part is part of the mission. That's like their thing. It's an all-inclusive event, so people don't feel the same way that we feel when we're in spaces that don't necessarily look like us. So that part of it is important. And even though I personally disagree, because I think, bro, I'm all for separation, because I feel like if we're gonna have a black space, let's make it completely black, because that's my shit. I would always support that. I put that shit to the side because I understand the mission. It's because it's not about me, or it's not about what anybody else feels. At the end of the day, this is a space where if you like anime and video games, you can come to this con and have a good time. That's literally it. That simple. Boom. It wasn't until this situation happened and people felt like they had a voice, and then the voice got bigger, and then the conversation started happening as to is where like we're in the situation where we're in right now. Again, I don't think anybody did anything wrong here. I just think people took this situation and they had certain feelings about it, and they let those feelings be known, because it's always going to be divided. Do we have a space where we can invite everybody else and not be the fucking slave master that because we've experienced segregation and all that, we do the same thing? Or do we have an all-inclusive event and risk having certain things not look like what we want it to look like? You know what I'm saying? Which is, it is the gift and the curse of inclusivity, which is why I always said inclusiveness is fucking overrated. Because like, look at how other marginalized people, look at how they want to be included so bad in this society. They took the blueprint from us. Whenever people start to feel like they've been marginalized, what do? They fucking protest. Guess where they fucking got it from? Us. When what's it called? The Stop Asian Hate. Very parallel to Black Lives Matter. And then they got fucking legislation in 2 months, when black people have been asking for legislation for damn near 400 years. You know what I'm saying? Who the fuck they get that from? The whole pride movement in itself. Where did that shit come from? Where did they get the blueprint for that shit? So,
how much of it centers around the black artists, the creators?
I would say all of it does, honestly.
Okay, so there's a full emphasis on that, right?
Yeah, like, again, this is for black people. BlerdCon is like, that's the center. You can partake, but know who runs this type shit.
And even then, there's like people in that convention, they have their own comics with their own black superheroes and their own stuff to get. There's a lot of networking.
That's what I meant. That's what I was asking. Yeah.
There's a lot of networking that goes on there. Father's in a gaming group, and they make a lot of video games in themselves, and I saw them networking to a lot of people. There's like a bunch of as long
as that's the focus, I'm good.
Yeah, that's the focus.
Right.
It's just for
I didn't want it to be what your mainstream Comic Con has become. It's just about trailers and costumes, not the creators. So I'm glad it's going this way.
But anyway, it's a great event. I had a good time, and that's all I came to do. I just came to have a good time, and BlerdCon has not failed me yet. Love that place.
Me too. Like I said, I tell any black person, like, you should go there. It's a great experience. Like, I've never seen because usually when I see black people over in the conventions, a lot of them feel awkward. Some of them feel out of place, even if their costume is great. A lot of them, they do feel awkward and out of place. Like, BlerdCon's the only place I've seen where there's like black people, they just feel comfortable. They're over there talking. Like, I've had conversations with a bunch of people I don't know, and they just come up to me and just like have conversations and stuff. So cool. It's a very comfortable spot. It's a very small convention, but it's been growing exponentially for like since 2017 when it started.
Oh wow! Where do they usually keep this specific BlerdCon event?
It's in Virginia, around
in Crystal City.
It's in Crystal City. But I think next year they're doing it in DC. I think he should do this in other states.
That would be nice, because my daughter's been begging me to take her to at least one of the cosplayer
conventions.
Yeah.
She'll have fun, because I've been to Comic Con, so
Shit, I want to go so bad, but I never have like the time, the money, just the opportunity to actually like go and partake in any of it.
Mhm. I was fortunate because I had recently moved to California, so it was just a city away. So that's why I've been trying to go for years, and when I got there, I was like, you know what? Let me just go. So I just took the 2-hour drive, and went in. So yeah, it's really cool. Oh, by the way, I met Bruce Leroy when I went there.
Really, Timac himself?
Yeah, I met him, man. He was charging $20 for a photo and an autograph. So most I did was shake his hand and be like, "Yo, I work out to the fucking movie soundtrack." Oh shit! When I think about did I just nerd out? So I promised myself I'll never do that. But I saw him, I was like, "Yo!" Like when I think about martial, he's the first person I think about when I think about martial arts and stuff. So.
It's okay. When I met the Yellow Ranger, I had a big ass smile on my face. So,
damn.
And she was there this year. She usually goes there. But
I follow both the Yellow Rangers.
Yeah,
actually, yeah.
So when I saw her, I've got a picture with her. I think she charged like $20 as well. So, but I wanted the picture, so I like.
Nah, that was my gas money, so I couldn't do it even if I wanted to.
It's like, I got a picture of her and the original Black Ranger, and
Word.
Yeah, he's short. He's short in real life.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
the person. I looked at him. I said, "Damn, this nigga's short." I was like, they look so much taller on TV. Oh, well, I knew the person playing Aisha was short, but I didn't know the person playing Zach was short. I was like, God damn.
Yep. Aisha, Zach, and the Pink Ranger, Kimberly, the shortest ones there.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we're talking about Power Rangers. Keep laughing.
I'm a Power Ranger
fan
too, man.
I love Power Rangers.
I stopped at Turbo though. That's where I stopped. I checked out.
I technically stopped at Time Force. But I still watch it from time to time just to like kill time. But
I stopped like frequently watching it after Samurai a few years back.
Damn. I remember you used to come on Jet TV or something like that. All the new
Jetix.
Jetix, there you go. Yeah. Wow.
All right. Next on the final thoughts, we have Crystal.
All right. So, there's a photo going around that had me kind of like it just set me ablaze because
I feel like I know what you're about to say, but keep going.
Is it what I think it is? But go ahead.
Yeah, and it's your next topic. Forgive me. I just gotta get this off my chest, and it's not for long. But I just got a message for interracial couples that think it's cute to take photos.
Yes.
With chains on his motherfucking hands and feet. It ain't fucking cute. Keep that kinky on Pornhub. Stop showing us how weak your motherfucking.
They don't even do that on Pornhub. It's usually the other way around. Even porn does it. Even porn knows not to cross that line.
Remember that one stupid couple in the fucking cotton field?
Yes, I remember.
That's another one. And I'm all for love. I'm all for interracial couples, but I'm not for the emasculation of the Black man and this bullshit, fake ass motherfucking love. That's not love, honey. That is not love. That is not love. And that is not cute. We don't have time.
What's his excuse?
I'm just saying, the Black man has an obligation to uphold his dignity in fucking society. That picture needed to go. I get it. People love kinky shit. Do that shit behind closed doors. That should go. I'm gonna keep it short. I'm just sending a message to the weak ass men. Stop showing us motherfucking this because we don't want to fucking know. Keep that shit behind closed doors. That's it.
Do I need to put up the
Yo,
ban
I'm not
again,
gonna
bro?
lie, Crystal.
Mhm.
Huh?
Do I need to put up the ban again?
Yeah, you might have to put the band again. You might have to put that band. But Crystal, all of New York just came out of you. I love it. Like that New York accent was strong as shit.
That picture provoked the demon. Oh my god.
Hey yo, I felt the same. I'm not gonna lie, I felt the same way. I looked at it, I said, God damn, again. Like father just had to talk about this. Why are we
This
doing
ain't a
it?
movie. This ain't a movie trailer. No,
No.
it's real. The fuck?
Like that's the thing. I'll be talking about this with my friends, and they be like, "Oh, you racist." How the fuck am I racist? I'm just calling shit for what it is.
That whole thing
The
is
photo's
racist.
racist.
How
The
is
photo's
how is
racist.
not want to see
That whole photo
bullshit
shoot is
racist?
racist.
And
Hey,
the nigga
you
was
Yeah,
can have this
Green.
conversation.
Oh, but you want to know what's funny, y'all? I swear to God, this is what's funny. So we recently found out that the nigga that was in the pictures is Dominican.
No.
I know black.
I know
That
black.
does not help.
I know black.
Oh
That
no.
genuinely does not help.
But isn't it the same thing anyway?
They don't
That's why I said
Didn't
it
you have
doesn't help.
weren't there slaves there anyway?
Yeah, it's
Yes.
the same shit.
So there's no.
That's why I
It's
said.
still
That's why I
fucking
said
stuff.
what I said. That does not help
Yeah.
the situation. If anything, that makes it worse.
No, it's just funny. It's just funny because there was a quote. Somebody said this on Twitter, and I was fucking dying of laughter. He said, "Okay, from a scale of 1 to coon, are you Nigerian or Dominican?"
Yo.
Oh my god!
Oh,
Yo, people are fucked up, yo.
Yo.
but but when you do certain shit, you set yourself up for other shit. You can't be upset about the fallout.
Bruh.
I just want people to think. It's just, especially black men who do this shit. It's like, is this a good idea? It's like, do, am I going to make my people happy about this? It's just like you.
I have to
Like
ask
the
this question.
ancestors.
No, hold on. I have to ask this question. What is it about? Again, there's absolutely wrong with. There's nothing wrong with interracial dating at all. But what is it when, especially black men, what is it that when you get hold of a white girl and you just lose all of your fucking senses? Explain. I need an explanation. I've dealt with one white girl my entire life, and I don't get the hype. I'm sorry. I don't get the hype.
The Umar's cone chip. It activates.
You know, the part that troubles me, because love is love, okay? I'm all for love. But what troubles me is that when, and I'm not saying all white women or any other ethnic group of women, but I keep seeing it like a trend. It's kind of like certain ethnic groups get together, specifically white women, and they show off the black man like they're a puppy. Like no other ethnic, no black women don't really do this. It's weird. When they get a white guy, they don't have a trend going on TikTok. Look at my white dude. It's only the white women that does this shit. Like they're showing off their new dog. Like, can we stop that shit? If you're showing off your man, fine. But why do you have to make it such a race thing? And it's a lot of them doing it. It's a lot, not just one. I saw one on TikTok where the girl had all this shit on her mouth, like STD shit, and the man was
I saw that too, and he's cool with it.
He was like,
these kids' minds are lost, yo.
Yeah, it was like wording like, oh, he likes the white woman and all this other. It was just stupid. But you can clearly see she was showing him off like back in the slavery days when they're getting ready to sell off niggas to the master.
The auction block.
Deadass. Can we stop? Just saying.
This is perpetuating that 100%. Now that kid's gonna see it and he's like, oh, I'm fine. The same kid that had that white girl with the STD on her face. Now he's gonna see that photo and be like, oh, it's cool. All right. So what were they yelling at me about?
Yo, I'll post Insta because
Oh, that.
that's
I thought it was pictures from a movie. I thought it was a slave movie, man. I thought it was like photos of the next slave movie. Then I'm like, it's real? Shit.
Or at least it's slave play like they was doing, which I'm
Oh
against
my
too.
God. I don't, bro. Yeah, it's like Crystal said. What the fuck is up with these Negroes, man? What's going on? What?
Yo, them the people that be like, hey, we're all human beings, all right? We're all human beings.
Well, yeah, we are.
I was about to say, that never stopped the cops from fucking arresting your black ass. It's like...
That ain't gonna stop your wife from calling 911 as soon as you act a little ignorant.
I was about to say, the same people that be code switching at fucking work because, you know, they don't want to scare their white fucking co-workers and shit.
Bruh, at that point, I would just embrace the power I have. Like, I can make you shake in your boots, and all I gotta do is just show up.
Bruh, I be saying that. I was like, I understand that you don't want to be feared by black people, by white people, but at the same time, I think you should have that just, you know, because white people, I feel like when white people, they don't fear you, they like make a mockery out of you.
Yeah, I'm memeing, bro. I'm trolling.
Boundary.
So honestly, and I will be alone when I say this, every time when a white person clicks their purse, I smile a little bit. I have power.
Bro.
And then, like, I want to buck at him when I get off the elevator. It just makes me feel good.
I don't care because it's like at the end of the day, you motherfuckers ain't got nothing that I want or that I can't get on my own without, you know, no illegal shit attached to it. Like, I don't want your shit.
Yeah, bruh. I come from the richest continent on earth. Cell phones wouldn't exist if it wasn't for us and my people. So that's all I need. You know what I'm saying? I walk outside and I have a smile on my face because I am the original human. I'm a 100% human being. God genetics. Let's go. Africans for the win. I'm sorry. I had to feel myself a little bit. I love my people.
As you should.
It is what it is.
As you should.
Where were you wrong?
Facts.
Nowhere.
Exactly.
Proceeding on with final thoughts, though.
Yeah, we got shit to say, damn it. Anyway, Dion, go ahead with your final thoughts. I don't know what the fuck Ray's doing.
Right. Okay. So I actually have two. Okay. Since we're on the subject of racism, I did something earlier today that made my inner petty Brooklyn nigga smile. I was playing Rocket League and some twerk couldn't have been nothing more than some white kid that, you know, the oldest I'll give him is 9 or 10 years old max. You know, once he realized that I was in fact a black person, he started going on, oh, you black this and nigger that and this, that, and the third. Now, at first I was doing my best to ignore him, but then I said to myself, wait a minute, his teammates ain't checked this little motherfucker. So I reported the whole team. Felt good, felt phenomenal about myself for it too. Don't care. I hope all their accounts get banned. Fuck them all. But we were talking about wrestling earlier, and I had a question. this is gonna be a big one probably for you, Father, because it pertains to someone who I know you're a big fan of. Who would you say is Sasha Banks's greatest rival? Hello?
Is that your final thoughts?
Well, yeah, but I wanted to pose that question to you because that was
Oh,
something
sorry,
that
I
was
was
brought
not
to me
listening. What
earlier.
was the question?
Who do you think is Sasha Banks's greatest rival?
Sasha Banks?
Yeah, her absolute greatest rival up to this point.
Bailey.
Hell
Is
yeah.
that even a question? It's definitely Bailey. That's going back to the NXT days. Them 5 stars they used to have. I ain't forget.
I feel like neither of them would be performers. They are without the other's help. They're
And
both
then
talented, but like again, the back and forth between them from NXT up to just before Bianca Belair took over, they built each other.
that is true.
But yeah, that's about it.
All right. So for my final motherfucking thoughts. So I'm going to be addressing the Activision shit that came out. How about how there was like a frat boy culture? Hold on. I'm gonna bring up. So there has been a lot of like testimonies. Like I found it. I'm going to read just an excerpt. In the office, women were subjected to cube crawls in which male employees drank copious amounts of alcohol as they crawled their way through various cubicles in the office and often engaged in inappropriate behavior toward female employees. Male employees proudly come into work hungover, play video games for long periods of time during work while delegating their responsibilities to female employees, engage in banter about their sexual encounters, talk openly about female bodies, and joke about rape. In another example, a female employee who worked at Blizzard Entertainment was assigned to a lower level, denied equal pay, and passed over for a promotion despite multiple factors that suggested that she earned it. Similarly, other female employers at Blizzard Entertainment were assigned lower level roles, denied equal pay, and further delayed or passed over for promotions in favor of male counterparts who lacked the same experience or qualifications, but who were friends with the male head of the unit. Other male supervisors will refuse to communicate with female employees going to their male counterparts for information. So that's a lot of interesting shit that's happening in these gaming circles and these companies and shit and whatever. And
that doesn't surprise me.
And yeah, not only does it not surprise me, but it's something that like a lot of people have been talking about, but like the main demographic of those gamers keep fucking shoving under the rug as if it's something that's not to be taken seriously. And it's getting to the point where you call yourself a gamer and look at the shit that these motherfuckers are doing. You know what I'm saying? Look at the behavior that's being perpetuated. These are literal children. Not only are they children, these are undesirables. That's what they really are.
Because not only that, that's the culture. That's how it's been. That's how, because I don't know if you guys remember G4 TV. You remember that?
Yeah, of course.
That X-Play and all that. Okay, I used to, after all that ended, when the company switched over, I used to listen to their podcasts, and they used to talk about that shit all the time. That's like the way of life. What men and women alike, they were all doing that shit. It was like a frat house in there. But I guess now that with the the Me Too stuff, and they don't know that going in, they're not used to that culture, so they're there meeting up with like alumni, developers and learning under them, not knowing that, oh no, this is part of the game. This is what we do up in here. If I didn't know the culture, I'd be more disgusted. But because I know that's what these guys do, and women, I'm not even just saying just the guys. Like if you listen to those podcasts back in the day, like back in like 2010 to 15, they exposed all that stuff they used to do back in those days. All the game developers that used to visit, all that stuff. So it's not surprising.
Not to mention all the weird sexual shit going on with like your tournament communities and shit amongst like the fighting game communities.
Oh yeah, Smash, them motherfuckers,
Ooh,
bro.
ooh.
It's like, and as I'm watching, because like I've been in the gaming culture a very long motherfucking time, right? And that's the place where I've experienced the most racism. I've been called the N-word in that fucking space so many motherfucking times. I'm numb to it. I always see women getting just absolutely harassed, just with no consequence whatsoever. I'm like, it's gotten to a point where now that shit is like, that is what you see at first glance when you really start to go deeper into like gaming. You start to see that shit. And these are grown ass men. You know what I'm saying? These are like grown ass motherfuckers. And I'm like, are you really that pathetic to reduce yourself to that type of, energy? Like, really? Over a fucking video game? And as over the years, I just see it getting worse and worse and worse to the point where they try to do the whole inclusive thing. They try to, like, you go on Twitch TV, for the whole month of June, they were pandering heavy to the LGBTQ, and there's a lot of different like organizations for marginalized groups and communities that play video games and shit like that, which is cool, which is fine. You know what I'm saying? But I just think it has gotten to the point where we are literally watching these people just wild the fuck out. You know what I'm saying? We are literally watching these undesirables wild the fuck out and project their hatred towards women. And I'm just like, why the fuck do y'all hate women so much? I mean, I know the culture. I know, like I said, again, these are undesirables. But when it gets to that point, you can't help but question it. You can't help but be like, yo, something's really wrong with these people. Like, the fact that this is a pattern and the fact that this has become a culture, something's wrong with these motherfuckers. Like, why aren't we doing enough to, like, we say we're gamers and shit like that. People call themselves gamers and shit. Like, why is that the shit that you tolerate in your fucking space? The shit that you're supposed to be passionate about. Why is that a thing? What the fuck is wrong with y'all?
Are black men doing this?
Nah, I don't think it's black men doing it.
Yeah, that's what I thought. That's what I thought.
That's
why we don't worry about it. That's why we're not thinking about white guys doing that crazy shit, bro, because we know that's what they do.
Look, the main story within that pertains to this that I followed was, what I brought up about the Smash Brothers community and shit that Father mentioned. And a lot of you not in the midst of, everyone they mentioned, everyone that was speaking about XYZ, I saw no black faces. I saw no black faces in the midst of none of that.
Well, you got to remember, the gaming community is like 64% white. 64%. That was like a official figure. And there was another official figure for like game developers and people who like make video games and shit like that. They said 85% of them were white.
So, right. And again, this community consists of primarily white males.
Yup. And not only just white males, the undesirables too. The undesirables.
European too.
The rejects of
from
society.
Sweden and all those countries. All those European countries. That's why you have like Ubisoft, this and the other. There's different branches. Mostly European dudes doing this.
And then think about
we all know the relationship between European men and their women. So if you know your history, you're not shocked. You're not that thoroughly shocked.
But again, like I also have to keep emphasizing that a lot of gamers, like a lot of those people that are really into video games, a lot of them were like rejects of society. You know what I'm saying? So their energy is going to be 2 times fold because of the fact that they've been socially rejected. There's the social outcasts. There's the socially awkward motherfuckers. It's the same way with
Yeah.
nerds too.
You ever seen the making of a game and see who they interview? You're not lying.
Some of the most awkward motherfuckers you'll ever see.
No,
Like
the only attractive person is the guy in charge most of the time.
Most
But
of
the
time,
workers,
yeah.
like whoever did the drawing and this and the other.
And you'll get the occasional cute girl to, you know, try to seduce a couple of extra motherfuckers to trying the shit out.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they don't even really need to try. Like, you can have a busted up lip and somebody's gonna give you love if you're on Twitch. They always doing that shit.
That's a fact.
Ray,
definitely
you remember
fact.
that video, that low tier guy video? You're never gonna smash.
You're never gonna smash.
Shout out to low tier guy.
Is that your final thought?
Yeah, man. There's too many undesirables in the gaming community, and we need a motherfucking purge because that is some sick, disrespectful ass shit. Ugly ass motherfuckers.
I agree. I got two. First one, Crystal, I wanted to ask you a question. I asked Father Dion earlier. My sister's been going on a bunch of dates, and she's been getting a lot of these dudes that be like, I don't want a relationship, but they want a lot of things that involve in a relationship, like sex, and like you to not speak to other men. Has men have done that to you?
Oh, all the time.
Oh,
now I don't like me personally. Like this is new to me because like I have never really been hearing dudes been saying it until like in this time of era. It's just like, where do you think it's coming from? I don't want to blame social media, but I guess it does have to go there. Where do you think it's coming from, Crystal?
It's definitely stemming from the friends with benefits. So back in the day, you did have friends with benefits. I think I'm a 90s kid. So back in the day, if it was friends with benefits, you knew that you didn't have emotions. We knew how to keep our emotions away from logical thinking. And we were teens back in the day. So when it was friends with benefits, we knew that nothing serious can come from it because we're still getting to know ourselves. We're still exploring. It's now have transferred into something permanent where grown-ass men are utilizing things that they utilized in the 90s, and the new generation thinking that this is okay because most of them are our age and they're learning from their dads and stuff. They're transferring it now into the adult life, and they're trying to bring it into a relationship. And because, and I'm going to sound a little mean for saying this, but because little girls are being raised by little girls and not grown-ass women to help them put up boundaries, men get away with this with a lot of girls. So when they come and step to a fucking queen or a girl that was raised by a grown-ass woman with boundaries and self-respect, it's shocking to them. And they'll go to the girl that's easier. But it's a majority of them doing this. So this is nothing new. And I have been approached many times with a guy wanting me to do all these wifely duties and shit like that and not commit.
Yeah, that's it.
God damn, I learned a lot from that. Thank you, Crystal.
No problem.
Backwards.
Okay, so my second question is, like, do you feel like in this time of era, do you feel like that you have to be the aggressor when it comes to like a relationship, or do you feel like men should still be like the person that pushes the relationship forward?
All right. That's a really good question, and it's tricky because you see, the thing is that when a woman has already been with a man and there's any type of damage, any type of healing that the girl needs to go through, subconsciously, she will be the aggressor. It's going to come out in snapping form. So say, for instance, she sees her ex on the computer or on social media. Now she's with a loving guy, right? And in the other relationship, she would say something and they never hear her. They never really recognize what the fuck's coming out of her mouth. With this dude, she's telling him, but he's too busy watching TV. Now she snaps she's automatically the aggressor. And it was something so small to him, but to her, it's huge. You know, that's a healing process. Now, for the woman that can actually get over it, heal, and move on and not carry her baggage into the other relationship, no, I don't think that they have to be the aggressor to get what they need from the man. They just have to be naturally nurturing and soft toned and just being a woman to embrace their feminine side, which is a big break on both parts, on her part, because she knows that it's a man that's going to lead the relationship. She knows her role. And on the man's part, because then he don't have to deal with trying to fix someone constantly over and over again. It's fucking exhausting for anyone to do that. So for a man that has a lot that society is requiring from him, the last thing he wants to do to someone that's supposed to be his asset is keep bandaging them up, because we don't know how long that bandage is going to hold.
It's funny you say that, because I know a lot of those people with a lot of baggage, they ask like the person they like to wait for them, and half the times I tell anybody, it's like, you shouldn't be waiting for nobody. Either they ready for you or not. So
right.
It's just, but I like, I've heard a lot of people been saying that too. It's like, I know two people that told them, like, the guy that they like, he was like, could you wait for me? And I laughed. I was like, I don't think no one waiting for you, because what if that person like is going around fucking everything it moves, and you just sitting there
waiting,
just like hoping hoping him to do better and shit.
Right, and we don't know if he's gonna go back to his ways. You know, that's...
I gotta chime in on this one, because here's my thing. When it comes to your like initial question, should a woman be the aggressor? That's kind of how, at least me personally, how most of my interactions with women start. And it's weird, because it's like, when you ask that question, because you kind of have me thinking back, because it's like, when I was the one who would normally make the advances, I'm trying to talk to whoever, initially I get nowhere. The most that would happen is, I exchange numbers with a chick, we probably hang out a couple of times, but then, after that second or third date, nothing. It's when I just flat out said fuck it and I stopped pursuing that, now they're coming after me.
Right. That's typically how it goes, because people love what they can't have. If it's right in their face, they don't want it, which is a big problem. And again, that's toxic behavior. Some men love that. I'm not saying that there's anything wrong. If you like it, you like it. And if that's how you're getting, if that's how you're winning at the relationship game, go all for it. But think about that for a minute. So for instance, you're building with a woman and you guys have the money to build a business. Now everything is there, ready to go, but she's not making the move to collaborate with you to build that business. Until the money's gone, then that person is like, we could have done this, we could have done that. So that type of mentality seeps into other shit later on. Not always, right. But it just seems like if you can't see that it's a king in front of you, wanting to be there for you and pursuing you, you got to wait till he turns his back. That means you love toxicity. It is what it is.
Yeah, I know a lot of people that do like toxic relationships. I don't know why, but like,
man,
like they really like a toxic relationship. It seems like people do like a little toxicity in there.
Yeah, because that's how they base how strong their relationship is. But
never go. No, that is ass backwards. That is so backwards.
But that's why, like, I stopped approaching. Like me personally, I literally stopped approaching women. You can ask Ray. Like it's gotten to the point where because I know what I want. I know what I want. I know what I'm looking for. Like I've already done the self work and all that. Love yourself shit. I've already done all that. Like at this point, like if I could become a husband right now, I could. Like I got it. But it's gotten to the point where I'm getting like a lot of women that like to project their past onto their current situation. Like I see that shit a lot. And I'm like, a motherfucker like me, you're not gonna project shit onto me. Like I'm the one and only. So, and you know, it sounds arrogant, but like I'm just secure within myself. You know what I'm saying? So,
No,
like,
it's not arrogant.
You
yeah,
don't want to hear that shit.
Yeah, you know what the fuck you're gonna tolerate and what you're willing
exactly.
We don't want to hear that shit.
to.
If you still feel some type of way about whatever happened between you and that last nigga, you need to go back and talk to that nigga. You got some things to hash out. You might need to just try to go back to that nigga.
But low key, just saying, a majority of women, they do project their past into the new relationship, which just means that they need therapy or they need someone that's willing to deal with them. Not everybody's willing to deal with that foolery, because sometimes, well, most of the time, women manipulate their past as a reason to never progress in life, which thus is bringing you down, always having to patch her up. It's not fair to anyone having to do that. I get where you're coming from, Fada. You're not arrogant in any fucking way. In fact, that's how kings are supposed to think. Do I want to deal with this bullshit or not? And
I'm arrogant as fuck, but my arrogance is earned. But that's just me.
But if on the first date she's just divulging all of her bullshit and why she's not here and what, man, just get up and leave the date. Just get up, because she can't even respect the first date. We don't want to, y'all, nobody wants to hear that shit. We want to hear how you're progressing, what job you work, where you're going in life, not how many baby daddies you have, you dropped out of college because of your mom. We don't want to hear that shit. We want to hear, what are you doing now to build, period. But
what are your future plans?
exactly. And I'm telling you, if you was to ask any woman, you could ask women in today that's about something, what are their future plans, and they can tell you without nonstop. But if they got to sit and think and make up some shit that don't even make sense, then you know that they know they're not on your level. They're going to try to agree with everything that you're saying. If they cannot interject their own thoughts, then you know they're full of shit. And the minute of sign to happen, they're not going to stay. So don't even waste your fucking time.
But that's how you know a lot of those women that you're talking about, they're not used to like a dude like me. That's just like straightforward and like I'm not gonna tolerate any type of nonsense, like because I'm not. And I've done it before. I've been in situations where a girl would say something or would have an ideology that I don't like or I think is toxic, and I will fucking leave. And they'd be like literally just leave, and they will never fucking hear from me again because I ain't got time.
That's what you gotta do.
I do the same thing. I'm not mad at it. I do the same thing. I did the same thing. And I saved myself because of it. Because then I'd see who the next guy was, and you're like, yep, good.
Like even this month,
That's
this
what
is
the fuck
my
you gotta
10th.
do.
This is my 10th year of sexual discipline.
Wow.
10 years. Because I'm not the type of dude that's just gonna waste my seed because my shit is precious.
Right.
I got ancestral genetic codes in this motherfucker. I can't just be out here spraying on some random woman. She needs to be handpicked, vetted, and she needs to understand that I'm going to fucking continue a legacy, and I need you to be worthy.
Right. Right.
So,
you know how refreshing it is to hear guys say that, yeah.
Yeah, because like I respect.
Oh
myself,
my god,
you know what I'm
not
saying?
enough
like,
say that, yo. Not enough of us say that. I swear.
Like I genuinely respect myself, not in the sense that I'm a human being and I'm looking out for myself, but like I respect myself in the sense that I have honor and respect for the lineage that I came from, And I'm trying to develop myself to be the type of person that will make my future generations better people and to make the world a better place. That's the type of shit I'm on. So I can't be, and it's part of the reason why I even isolated myself in a sense, because the shit that's out there, like, I don't fuck with it. I don't fuck with a lot of the trends that's going on. I think a lot of people are on bullshit. I think the shit that people glorify today is nonsense. Like, I don't resonate with a lot of people. So it's very isolating. But at the same time, like, when it came to dating and relationships, that was something I put all the way to the back burner, because I legitimately felt like I'm not going to find anyone who's like on my same level. Not that I haven't went and looked, but look at the environment I'm in. You know what I'm saying? Type shit. So when it came to me just looking at how people dealt with relationships and how people are talking to each other, and is it supposed to be your boyfriend or your girlfriend or your wife and your husband and shit? Like, I'm looking at all this shit and I'm like, this society has made everybody inadequate in some way. And I'm even putting myself in there. Like, this society has taught us a lot of inadequate shit, and it shows with the way that we deal with each other. You can't even have two people have a respectful conversation anymore because one of the people, the woman in this case, is listening to other women who have been burned before and who are bitter, projecting that shit onto her. So now she thinks everything that the man is saying is hyper, is just 2 times as evil than it already is, because she's already had that preconceived notion in her head by bitter women. And then you got dudes over here in the other one talking about, oh, you know, we the head, you know, the man is the head, yeah, we the alpha male, you know, Kevin Samuels and shit. And I'm just like, bruh, both of y'all are just fucking goofballs. Like, both of y'all game goofy. Both of y'all doing the same shit. They're pointing the finger at each other. The woman goes to fucking Wendy Williams. The nigga goes to Kevin Samuels. And then y'all are fucking having a bullshit ass fucking wrestling match again. Like, what the fuck are y'all doing?
Wendy though.
Like, what the actual fuck are y'all doing? And then y'all want to sit here and talk about men ain't shit, women ain't shit. Like, shut the fuck. Y'all sound like hoes out here, man. Just a whole bunch of, like, it be people my age group acting like motherfucking children. And I'm just sitting here and I'm the damn babysitter, it feel like.
Yeah, I agree. I tell my little boy cousins, you know, like, when you're dating, because they're teenagers now, but when they're dating, I say, don't make your first date where you're going out spending all your money. Make your first date like a picnic or something a little cute at the house or whatever, and see how she reacts. If she's like, I gotta go to the restaurant, or we gotta go here, where you're spending money instead of time, then you already know that. You know what I'm saying? And I tell my nieces, because they're of dating age right now, that, you know, if it's a guy that you like, tell him, hey, I'm not doing anything for 30 days and see how they react.
Hold on. Speaking of, you just reminded me of something somebody asked. He asked women if a man implemented a 90-day rule where he didn't spend any money on you for that 90 days,
right?
How would you react?
Well, what you mean? Like, is this question towards me or towards, like, what?
I mean, you know what? Yeah, actually, you know what? Yeah, I do want your reaction. I do want your reaction to that, because that's...
It's a group of women that I have in mind, and I'm like, well, they'll react differently, and I know this group of women would agree to. But if it's about me, yeah, it's fine. It's perfectly fine, because money is not going to build a relationship.
Facts.
I'm just saying, I've never been the type of chick to date a guy because of money. I've had many guys try to flash their cars and flash their money, and that was the most disgusting thing for me. I'm like, oh, you think you could fucking buy me? Nah, nigga, you gotta go. It never impressed me. But the minute they're like, oh, let's do picnics, or oh, let's go to the movies, or let's go to Prospect Park and chill and just talk about our favorite anime and stuff, you already got my heart. You already got my heart. So if money is not involved for 90 days, that's fine. That's perfectly fine.
I think that's what's missing too. People don't be appreciating the little shit.
Right.
The
Yes.
little moments. That's what makes
Yes.
a relationship lit. But motherfuckers be over here. Well, I buy you Birkin, baby. You know, we you my
Right.
Bonnie, my Clyde. You know, we Offset and Cardi B. Like, nigga, sit
No.
your ass down.
No.
And then they get cheated on, and then they wonder why. Yo, what is it me? And it's like, no, nigga, you picked a goofball.
And that's another thing in high school. I always went for the nerds because I knew that the nerds had a plan to go further in life, and they could have taught me something too. You know, I wasn't full 100% nerd, but I was close enough to be at 100%. And at the end of the day, I always learned something from anyone that I dated because I've always went for the intellectual type of dude, or the one that watches anime, or, you know, something unique and eccentric, not the boring types that's talking about the latest rapper or how they play dominoes on a step or they selling weed on the corner. Like, I never went for those niggas. I'm sorry, but I didn't.
One of the smart ones.
Don't let him hear you say that.
Shit. Man. See, that's another thing too. See, you saw the signs that certain types of niggas wasn't shit. And there's a lot of motherfuckers who see them red flags and they still run straight toward them red flags. They don't go the other fucking way.
Oh yeah, and like,
And then get mad when the bullshit go down. Like, no, there were telltale signs that this motherfucker wasn't shit. This motherfucker flat out told you he wasn't shit. You just was not paying the fuck attention.
but remember how you had asked me that question? Like, well, you didn't ask me a question, but you actually made a statement saying, you know, women typically are the aggressor because that's how you get them instead of you chasing them like they never was interested. Well, there you go. It's that pick me mentality. So with this badass dude, he got 10 other bitches that want him. So if he picks you, then you feel so special because you yourself can't even make yourself feel special. You got to get a badass nigga that everybody wants to feel like, oh, he picked me, so I must be special. That's that mentality. That's that toxic mentality that a lot of
But
women.
then that's the other funny part about that whole situation. I think every man here on this panel can agree with this. You'll attempt to talk to a chick, she turn you down for some ain't shit ass nigga. This nigga screws her over, hurts her in some way, physically, mentally, emotionally, whatever. Fuck. Now she come looking for you after she done been used up by this other motherfucker. The fuck I want you for now?
Well, you know.
You
Nah,
wanted
you did
nothing to
that real
do.
quick.
You wanted
I
nothing to do
tell
with me a couple
anybody, yo,
months,
get
years
that
ago,
real
whatever the
quick.
fuck.
Mm,
Man.
Well, thank you, Crystal. I think a lot of people could learn from what you done said. And with that, I'm gonna go ahead and end this podcast. I'd like to thank everybody on the panel for jumping on. I would like to thank y'all for listening to hear us talk our shit again. This is you know what. Let me just say podcast, and we signing out. Peace.
peace.
Cheers.